Hey yogis, this is a balance focused mini flow. You might want to block just to help with bringing the ground a little closer to you for some of these shapes. And we're just going to get started in a child's pose to arrive in our body before we start moving. So find maybe a wide-legged child's pose. Let the head, arms, torso surrender. And just take a few breaths here, breathing into the back body. Maybe sighing out exhales, letting the forehead, elbows get heavier, letting go of your day thus far or anything you have to do after, and just carving out the next few minutes to be with your breath, to be in your body. And the beauty of balancing shapes is that it requires so much focus that it almost is the perfect practice to keep you present, to keep you mindful. So use that tool. Get present here even as you're supported by the ground. And find that breath which will support you the whole time. On your next inhale, start to ripple forward into a tabletop position. And find some cat-cows, warming up that spine. Inhale, opening. Exhale, closing it up. Take a few rounds like that, feeling the spine extend and feeling the spine in flexion as it rounds. Good. Starting to warm up through those wrists as well. And then once you're done, tuck toes, lift hips, and find your first down dog. Pedal out your feet. Bend the knees a lot, lift the hips. Notice how the hands are actually the pushing force, and the lift comes from those hips with the heels reaching. Take a breath. Shake your head yes, no. Make sure it's doing as little work being held up by that neck, just hanging between arms. And then inhale, come high on balls of feet. Exhale, bend the knees, look forward. Step, 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 front of the mat. Feet are hip width distance apart. Inhale, find a halfway lift, push the shins away, get a flat back, and then exhale, fold. Again, like that, press into legs. Inhale, extension through spine, shoulders back. Exhale, fold. And then stay forward folded for a moment. Shift from foot to foot, bending one knee and then the other, finding the weight left and right. Let the arms and torso dangle if that feels good, or you can always grab opposite elbows. And then come through center and slowly roll up. Pause when you get to the top in your mountain pose, finding that tall spine, everything stacked evenly, effortlessly. And close the eyes. And just start to find a little sway forward and back, noticing the balance here, maybe lifting the toes a bit when you come back to heels, lifting the heels a bit when you come to balls of feet and toes. And then shifting right and left a little bit more to outside of one foot and then the other. And then come on to one foot and hover the other for a moment and switch. Of course, if you need to open your eyes, you're welcome to, but we're just playing without the sense of sight, seeing even when we're pretty close to the ground and not challenged too much, how removing the sense of sight can really change the feeling of balance in the body. And then come through center and find little circles with the hips. Torso follows, and this will cause you to come to all four corners at different times of each foot. Go the other way. And then land somewhere in the middle where you feel really rooted down through both sides, really tall through the spine, and pretty steady and balanced. Notice how you have to micro bend the knees to do this, press through all four corners of the feet, behind toes and at heels. Tuck the tail a little bit, find a little glute activation, a little core activation, arms reach down, this active, even mountain pose. Big breath here. Stay for the exhale. And then blink the eyes open. Look to the ground, somewhere that doesn't move, and you might want to bring a block in between your feet just so it's there when you want it. We're just going to workshop a couple of these shapes and then bring it together into a flow. You can have your hands at hips, looking down to the ground, bringing weight into the left foot, bending the knee. Shifting weight into that left foot and lifting the right knee up to hip height. So gaze stays on the floor, down and away, somewhere that doesn't move so you can focus and find your balance on that left foot. Micro bend the knee. Find activation through glute and core. And then start to open the right knee to the side. And either the foot comes to the block and bring the heel to the inner leg, or the entire foot presses into the calf. Or if you're feeling steady this morning or this afternoon, whenever you're practicing, you can push the foot into the inner thigh. Wherever you are, even out the hip bones, so try not to hike left and right side. Maybe the arms stay here or come through heart center. And perhaps you lift the gaze up to the corner of the room and breathe. Pushing the foot into the leg into the foot, activating this inner line of leg support, mimicking this through the core and even the press through the hands as shoulders draw down and back. Take an inhale and stay for the exhale. Draw the gaze back down with control. Lift that knee, bring the foot down, and try the other side, shifting to the right. Finding your center of gravity, your gaze, your breath, lifting left knee up. Centering there for a moment before opening the knee and deciding where you're going to place it on the leg with the help of that block. Little tuck of tail, squeeze of glute, hands through center. You can even press in, elbows wide to really activate this center line of the body. And perhaps the gaze lifts up. Every side is different. Left and right will not always match in stability. And embrace the shaking of those ankles as you gain strength of all those little stabilizer muscles. And then gently come back through center, hands to hips, and step the foot down, shake it out. Bring that block outside of the left foot. We're going to come onto that side, soften the knee, lift the other leg up, inhale. Exhale, sit low, cross your legs, and bring that foot to the outside, probably using the block if you have it to stabilize. Internally rotate that top leg, so really squeeze inner line of legs, sit nice and low. Inhale, open. Exhale, right arm under left. Twist, tie, or grab those opposite shoulders. Sit nice and low into your eagle shape. Basically a one-legged squat for that standing leg. And once you have your balance, you can float the leg, the toes away from that block. Feel the shake, feel the squeeze through center line, inner line of legs, inner line of arms, core. Gaze is either at those wrists or somewhere down and away. And take a breath here. And then gently release with control, lift up, and step to the other side of the block. Planting that foot closest to the block on the ground. Inhale, lifting the other knee up. Exhale, sitting down and low, crossing that thigh over, using the block for stability as you get low. Inhale, open. Exhale, other arm, left arm underneath the body. or underneath the right arm. Find your eagle arms, sit low, squeeze inner line of legs, squeeze arms, core, and maybe float that foot away from the block. Again, embrace the shake. Whatever comes up on this side, take one more breath. Use the breath. Don't hold it in these shapes. And then gently open and release. Shake it out. Good stuff. The block comes to the top of your mat. If you have two, you can always put them next to each other, but for the sake of this, we'll use one. And feet come hip-width distance just behind the block. Bend the knees. And I want you to start to shift onto, let's say, that right leg first. Hover the left leg away, foot just away from the ground. With your hands on your hips and your gaze down, feel the evenness through those hips. You can even use hands to low back as you start to reach the left leg back. Come forward with the torso and find this warrior three stance in the body. Leg doesn't have to come to hip height, but it can. Torso doesn't have to be parallel with the ground, but it can. And you can always stay here, or you can always bring your hands to the block, or find arms by your side, palms facing down. Wherever you are, spin that left hip down, toes and knees face the ground on the left side. Core is engaged to keep you long, shoulders down and back. Gaze is to the ground just beyond the mat so that you're not looking at your foot. And neck is long as well. Big breath here. Stay for the exhale. And then when you're ready, bend the right knee and start to lift yourself back up. And step the left foot down, shake it out. Other side. Left foot becomes your stabilizing leg. Right foot hovers. Leg is long, like you're almost trying to kick the ground, but the heel won't reach. And find activation through both glutes, but especially the glute that's lifting the leg as you start to reach it back. Long, but in line with hips. Keep yourself honest with those hands. And torso coming to the ground. And just find the evenness through pelvis, obliques. Take a breath, maybe reach arms back, especially if it helps get the shoulders away from ears. Embrace the shake, micro bending left knee, not hyperextending. And take one more big inhale, like you're kicking an imaginary wall behind you, heel to crown of head, lengthening in both directions. And then gently lift up and step down. Okay, one more little one we're add on. So start by bringing the right foot back to the ground and step the left foot to the left and the toes face the side. So you're in this like really short triangle setup. Bending the right knee and looking at that block just about a footprint or so in front of the right hand. You're going to bend the right knee a lot, keep the left foot on the ground, reach the right hand for that block forward and to the right. So it's going to be where the shoulder eventually lands. Left hand stays to low back or hip, and you're starting to come on to that right foot. Lift the left leg up, flex the foot, and open the pelvis and chest to the left. So this is our half moon. Now the block really helps get us closer to the ground, having that stability, but make sure you're not dumping all the weight into that arm. So pressing away, but finding the lift, left arm can reach up as well. Finding obliques, activation through glutes, all the parts and pieces that lift us rather than just relying on that right arm. Take a big inhale here. Stay for the exhale. At any point, you can challenge the balance by lifting gaze to sky or even to that left thumb. And then gently bend right knee, step the left foot down, and lift it up. Step forward. We try the other side. Set your block up, forward and to the left. Left toes are still facing the front, right foot comes back, and toes are on an angle, so you're already having those hips open a little bit to the side. Bend the left knee, start to come forward. Just plant the hand where you want it on that block. Right hand supports low back or hip. And you start to take a little leap of faith coming off the back foot, rolling the hips open. So right stacks on top of left, shoulders stack on top of each other as well. Head is in line with spine, so not jutting forward or leaning back. And again, feel lifting up and away from the ground, even though hand is stabilizing through the touch of that block, right arm reaching to sky. One big inhale here, challenge the gaze, look up. And then bend the knee, step the foot down, and come on forward. All right, we'll find one flow to put that all together in a little challenging balance sequence. Come to the top of your mat, keep the block where you can use it if and when you want it. Soften the knees, inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant palms, step to plank pose. Inhale, shift forward. Knees up or down, lower all the way to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra or up dog, find your back bend. And exhale, up and back, downward facing dog, take a breath. Inhale, reach the right leg up. Open the hip, bend the knee, squeeze heel to glute. Just find a really nice stretch through hip flexors and left back of leg. Inhale, straighten right leg. Exhale, look between the hands and come into a warrior two stance. So press into heels, cartwheel the arms, land in your warrior two. Take an inhale, sink on the exhale. One exalt, inhale up, exhale back. Inhale, come forward into a side angle, left arm up and over. Stay low, left hand to hip. Walk the left foot forward in space. Right hand comes to that block. Press into the right foot and hand, lift up into your half moon pose. Take a breath. Stay for the exhale, maybe reach the top arm. And then tricky transition, turn to face the ground. Hands come to hips. You can use that block if you need. Can you find warrior three from that half moon? Closing the hips, reaching back with heel, long with spine, big inhale. Soften through right knee, inhale, come to stand with the left knee up at hip height. Exhale, sit low into your eagle pose, wrapping that thigh. Inhale, open arms. Exhale, left under right arm. Find a lift and a squeeze as you lower. Inhale, press into right leg, reach up, arms lift, knee lifts. Exhale, hands through heart center as you bring the foot inside that right leg for tree pose. Take a breath. Lots of sensation in that right leg, in that right ankle. One more here. Last fun transition. Knee comes up, still on that right leg. Lean forward with torso, back with leg through warrior three. Soften the knee, step the left foot back. Inhale, find high lunge. And exhale, down dog to reset for the other side. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, open the hip, bend the knee, squeeze heel to glute. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, look forward, bring the foot between the hands. Set up for warrior two, find your footing and rise. Take a breath. Inhale, set up for your exalted warrior. Exhale, reach it back. Inhale, come forward, side angle. Exhale, right arm forward. Look down, keep the bend in the left leg, walk the right foot in, hand to hip. Left hand comes to the block, forward to the left, and take that leap of faith into your half moon on the side. Big breath. Stack all the parts and pieces, keep everything engaged. And then close it up. Hips close, hands to hips or through heart center right away. Find your warrior 3 stance. Take a breath. Get long. Press through the left foot. Start to bend the right knee up. Come to standing. And then wrap the thigh over that left leg as you sit low. Inhale, open arms. Exhale, right under left. And sit into your eagle pose. Find the stability, the squeeze through center. Press into left leg. Inhale, reach up with arms and right knee. Exhale, land the foot somewhere inside the leg, palms through center for tree pose. Hands stay through center. Knee comes forward and then kick the leg back, torso forward, warrior 3. Bend the left knee, touch the right toes down. Inhale, high lunge. And exhale, hands down. Find a downward facing dog to let that go. Good. Feel into those ankles as you go left and right. And if you need a little stretch here, let's drop the knees under hips together, untucking toes and coming to kneel. This may be enough of a release of those ankles and all the work they just did for you, or fingertips can come back in space. And with control, you'll just press into tops of feet, lift the knees, shins any amount. Hands can walk back any amount, finding a big stretch through the front of those lower legs, ankles, and feet. Find a place where you can stay and breathe. No big sensation through the knees here. And then come up if you want a little bonus. Keep your knees lifted, pressing into tops of feet. See if you can balance here with your palms together. And stacking shoulders over hips, just a little balance in this top of foot and ankle stretch. And then gently touch them down. And relax. Find a closing seated posture where you can just regain focus. Regain even, smooth inhales and exhales. Send some love to your body for being able to move and be challenged in that way. And take some of this balance and awareness that you've cultivated with you into the rest of your day, of your week. Thanks for letting me guide you, gang. Namaste.